Everyone good to go?
Yes.
All right, we'll just take questions for Barrett.
So you're getting married next week.
I am.
Congratulations.
Thank you. If you guys got any advice, let me know. Sarah and I are both very excited, and I've tried to warn her that we're going to get married, go on a honeymoon, and then she won't see me for a month. So she actually made a funny comment. She was like, "I'll make you dinner whenever you come home." Like, "No, you won't. Like, I won't be home till 9 or 10, and I'm gonna walk in and fall asleep." So, we're both very excited about it.
Coach Drake said it's kind of like a bachelor party for you. How's it feel? Are you guys able to do anything down here? Kind of hang out a little bit?
Yeah. I mean, I've really just trying to been soaking up this time that I've had with my teammates. Just kind of myself this summer. Spent a lot of time trying to be intentional, getting to know some of my teammates more, just knowing that there's going to be times here in the future where, I'm going to need to be there for my wife. And so, I'm really blessed for this opportunity to be down here and represent the University of Missouri.
Great. Obviously, you came to Mizzou as a walk-on and redshirted your freshman year. I'm sure you didn't envision playing for 6 years at one place, but was there a point where did you always think that you would, be able to get to kind of the role on the team that you are at this point?
I think that was kind of a goal, and I remember after the 2018 season, me and Paul Adams kind of had gotten pretty close, and Paul had made the comment. He said, "I want you, if you aren't a leader for this university one day, I'll be pretty disappointed in you." And that's always kind of stuck with me is, there's been people here from the time that I got here who saw something in me. And so I've been incredibly blessed, and there's been so many people along the way that have helped me get to this point where, I kind of feel like I'm in a leadership, representative, ambassador role for this university. And so I'm extremely blessed.
Elaborate a little bit more about that, just being a leader, and what are you trying to do as a leader? It's one thing to be a kind of a model player, but you also need to kind of convince others too.
Yeah, I think that's kind of the two things. As a leader, you're trying to establish a culture and win football games. We had a military group called the Program come in for us this winter, and leaders, one of the things that they said was their goal is to accomplish the mission. And the mission for us is to win the SC East in a bowl game with class integrity and academic excellence. And so I think that's my responsibility as a leader for this football team, to push our team, inspire others, like you said, to strive for that goal for us. And so, any way I can do that, whether that's serving others, showing others how to do things, encouraging others, bringing others along with me, anything I can do like that, I think that's good for this football team.
As far as the culture, how do you feel like, from year one Drinkwitz to now, how do you feel like that culture is kind of built over the past 3 years?
I think it's progressed in the right way, and I think there's been a lot of maturity and growth. I know one thing that us as a team had struggled with in the past was, holding each other accountable. And, one of the things that they told us in that military program that they were talking about was don't be quick to respond, be quick to understand. Or don't listen to respond, listen to understand. And so I think that's been something I've seen a lot of growth in our team from was, if there's a sophomore on this team that sees something that I'm doing and I'm not doing it correctly and they correct me on it, why should I respond with an excuse? I need to listen to him, understand what he's saying, and respond accordingly to that, if that makes sense. So I think we're heading in the right direction.
Obviously, you're trying to, you're talking about leading within the wide receiver room and help other guys along, but in another sense, you're also kind of competing with those guys for a spot for playing time. How do you balance those two things?
I think those things are always going to exist in football, and there's always going to be that competition part of it. That's part of what we do. That's what we sign up for. But I think whenever you truly get to the aspect of a team, and it's putting, it's we over me. So, obviously I would love to have, 3,000 targets and, catch every pass that's ever thrown. But the reality of the situation is that's not football. And there's going to be times where, it's going to be other people's times to be successful. There's going to be times where it's my time. And it's how can you get the team to, instead of one person catching a pass and you going, oh my gosh, darn it, it's, oh heck yeah, like we're working together as a team for this goal. And so, the competition part, that's part of it. That's sport. That's why you put yourself out there and, do these things.
As far as mentoring those younger guys, guys like Luther, how do you kind of teach them to kind of block out that outside noise, not have too much expectations, especially for a guy like him, going into his freshman year here?
Yeah, I think the thing that you try and tell these guys is you've had a process that's gotten you to this point so far. Like, just keep sticking with that process. Keep working with the team and how we're working, and good things are going to happen whenever you do that. And he is doing that. He's he's sticking his head down. He's working. He's following the details. He's following the instructions. We're very proud of him.
How do you see quarterback? Just kind of an overview here.
Yeah, I mean, I think we got a group of guys that love to compete, love what they're doing, and at the end of the day, it's going to be who emerges, during camp as the person who can give us the best chance to win. And so I think all of them are great competitors, great football players.
And you've got a situation where there could be 3 or 4 different guys. What do you do during the off season to try to get to a point where you have kind of chemistry with each and every one of them?
I think that just comes with the off season routes that we run and reps that we go through. I know we do a great job of everyone just kind of rotating who they're going with, because at the end of the day, like, that's how it could happen in the season. And, I think a lot of that comes with the details that you try and instill. Like, he needs to know whenever I'm running a 10-yard out, like, this is how I'm running it. This is what I'm doing against this type of look, X, Y, Z. And so that's kind of how you approach it.
As far as Tyler and Brady go, how do you feel like they've grown a bit maybe from last season? Got to see them on field a little bit, but, leadership-wise maybe, have you seen any growth in them into now?
Yeah, I think they both have kind of taken steps forward, and, the more you're involved in an offense, the more comfortable you get in a system. So they've both done a really good job, and like I said, they both come in and compete every day, and, they're both going to give it their best shot to be the guy.
Is it fair to say we don't know what to make of this team until we know who the quarterback is? I mean, is that internally there's a million other positions, but that one is the one that kind of on the outside everybody looks at. So how can we know if they'll be good if we don't know?
I mean, I think it's fair to say from y'all's point of view, no doubt about it. The quarterback position, I think it would be naive to say, it doesn't matter. Like, quarterback position matters and it's important. But to go along with that, I think we have a great group, as solid of a group as I've seen for a team we have this year, and I think we're going to be able to have a good support staff, so to speak, to go along with that position.
Looking back on going into year 6 now, how has just the experience of like being a college football player changed? I mean, obviously there's the portal, there's NIL now.
It's different, and there's a lot of outside stuff that like you can focus on, but I think the core of it is still the same. Football, ball's still ball. And, running out on Saturdays at Faroe, like hearing Sandstorm at Williams-Brice, like the Gator chomping Gainesville, like all that stuff is so, so cool. And that's still the beauty of it to me. And so, I think it's been such an incredible experience for me, and I could not have dreamed of anything any better. It's been so awesome. And so I'm excited for this just one last little hurrah. They already gave me one extra year, so might as well soak it up.
You may have just answered this, but I was going to ask you if it was a tough decision to come back for it. It doesn't sound like it was.
Heck no. That's the thing is, like, whenever I decided to do this, it was because I loved playing football, and I grew up in this conference, and I've seen it for all my life. And so getting the opportunity to play for it has been incredible. I actually had – it was Cody Schrader, who's one of our running backs. He asked me, he was like, dude, what was that like experience like? And it literally kind of sent me back to like this euphoric state almost of just, I thought about, I was still walking on at this point, and I caught a drag route at South Carolina like late in the third quarter. And it was just like, little did I know 5 years ago that my collegiate career would turn out like it has. And so it's just been it's been a dream. It really has. And no, it wasn't hard at all. When Coach Drink asked me if I would, it was a no-brainer.
Kind of on that note, you mentioned how Paul challenged you to become a leader. Back when Paul and maybe Drew were coming down here for like this event, could you have envisioned yourself, kind of being in that ambassador role?
You know, it was something that I never wanted to like write on paper as a goal because it was technically out of my control.
Right.
But once I got told that I was going to have this opportunity, it was kind of a check from a box, so to speak. And I'm just so grateful and blessed to be in this position to have this experience and miss workouts for a day. You know, I mean, it's incredible. But no, this is it was a dream. It was a goal, but I'm so happy.
You've obviously been, through a variety of different off seasons, seen so many new faces, gone through COVID and whatnot. Is there anything, any other factors that are unique to this off season that you've noticed and that you've observed within the team that could have an impact?
I think that the new faces, I mean, that's college football nowadays. So the transfer portal is a thing, and there's been a lot of guys that we've brought in that are new faces, and building that culture, getting to know those guys, understanding and kind of seeing the people that they are and understanding, what we expect from them. And so I think that's been kind of the different new thing, and I've kind of, don't want to say taken it upon myself, but us guys in the locker room have just kind of been like, okay, like it's a new team every single year, and these are the guys we're rolling with, and this is how we're going to do things.
I have to ask you about Eli's Top Gun stash he's planning on growing during fall camp. What do you think about it?
I don't think any of us on the team want to see that. No, that would be fun. Anything that can bring some good juice and good energy during that month, especially if the weather stays like it is right now. I mean, anything is welcome. Anything.
He said he couldn't pick his own call sign. What would his call sign be?
Shoot, give me a bit on that, and I'll come
I'll
back
ask
to
you
you.
downstairs.
Yeah, ask me that downstairs. You're gonna have to give me. I don't want to come up with a dumb one.
Brett, do you know how many guys on the team are actually older than you? I guess Abraham is. Is there anyone else?
Jack's older. Sean Ketting came in with me. Hiron White came in with me. Big Hop, he's the older one from North Carolina. He's older than me. I think I'm older as an age than Hiron, though.
Okay.
I might be with Sean as well, but there's only 3 of us from that 17 class that are still here.
You get your own wing in the locker room or anything?
Well, I think this one's kind of funny, and, Coach Drink probably did this on purpose, is, Jack decided he was going to come here, and I had 2 open lockers right beside me. And all of a sudden, Jack, the other guy who's getting married, he's right beside me. I say, this kind of seems purposeful. Jack's he's putting Jack here to give me some advice.
It's kind of like talk about the 90s.
Exactly. Yeah, no doubt. We're a dying breed.
Anything else for Barrett?
Awesome.
All right.
Thanks.
Appreciate y'all.
See you downstairs.
Yep.